capital city, Abuja. Capital city, Abuja. In the news, President Buhari returns to Abuja after attending summit of Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. Special task force in charge of security in Plateau and Southern Kaduna arrests 10 hoodlums in connection with recent skirmishes in Jos. And Israel carries out airstrikes in Syria in response to rare rocket fire from neighboring country. I am Nten Ekman with details of these stories and many more. President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after attending the summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. The president's aircraft landed at the presidential wing of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at 5:24 p.m. on Sunday. While in Saudi Arabia, the president participated in the OIC summit, where he noted with delight the decision of the organization to support the inter-basin water transfer project aimed at recharging the Lake Chad. According to the Nigerian leader, the shrinking of Lake Chad to about 10% of its original size had adversely affected over 30 million livelihoods in the sub-region. He further maintained that the shrinking had caused severe economic deprivation, fueled illegal migration to Europe, caused displacement of communities and radicalization of youth, forcing them to join the Boko Haram terrorist group. President Buhari, during the summit, also thanked the organization for its various interventions under the special program of the development of Africa and the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development. According to him, the robust interventions of the various OIC institutions, particularly the IDB group, had been effective in such key sectors as trade and investment, agriculture, rural development, and food security. He expressed confidence that the continued support of Nigeria's multilateral partners, notably the OIC and the Islamic Development Bank, would be most needed as the country redoubled efforts towards achieving rapid socio-economic development. President Buhari on June 1 had bilateral meeting with the Chadian President Idris Deby in Makkah on the sideline of the meeting of the OIC. During the meeting, the president said he will host leaders of Lake Chad Basin Commission to an informal security meeting on the sideline of his second-term inauguration ceremonies on June 12 in Abuja. According to the president, the summit is meant to fashion out new strategies to bring to a permanent end Boko Haram terrorism being faced by the countries of the Lake Chad region. The Nigerian leader had, during the summit, expressed appreciation to the government and people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the elaborate arrangement for the success of the summit. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday sent a federal government delegation to support Nigeria's candidate vying for the President of United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, Professor Tijani Mohammed Bande. The UNGA election is scheduled to hold on June 4, 2019 in New York, United States of America. Professor Bande, who is the permanent representative of Nigeria to the UN, will become the second Nigeria to be elected President of United Nations General Assembly after Major General Joseph Nanven Garba retired, who held the position between 1989 and 1990. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman, is leading the delegation, which includes Director General National Intelligence Agency Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Dr. Bello Aliyu Gusau, and Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu. The President is confident that Nigeria's presidency of the 74th session of the UN General Assembly will provide a unique opportunity for Nigeria to lead the global call to tackle the political, social, economic, and environmental challenges facing the world. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, in Abuja, quoted Buhari as saying Nigeria looks forward to working with UN member states to promote international peace and security, prevent conflict, strengthen global action to tackle climate change, ensure inclusion, human rights, and empowerment of Nigerian youths. Nigeria hopes to build on progress made under Ecuador's presidency of the 73rd Assembly, led by Maria Fernanda Espinosa Garcia, and further promote key themes that the President Buhari had championed on the global stage since 2015, which includes climate change, combating terrorism and violent extremism, and establishing functional anti-corruption mechanisms to assist countries like Nigeria recover and repatriate stolen funds. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) has secured 12 years jail term for both Dr. Sahat Alanamu, the former chairman of the Governing Council of Kwara State Polytechnic Ilorin, and Salman Suleiman, Chief Executive Director of Namleys Nigeria Limited, for collecting and giving a bribe, respectively. The convicts had earlier been arraigned before Honorable Justice Mahmood Abdul Ghaffar of Kwara State High Court 9 sitting in Ilorin on an 8-count charge for bribery, and they had pleaded not guilty to all the charges brought against them. Dr. Alamu, who was nominated into the board of ICPC in 2017 but was later dropped on allegation of corruption, which the commission was investigating, was charged for collecting 5 million naira bribe from a contractor friend of his as kickback for the award of a contract. Suleiman, on the other hand, was accused of bribing a government official when he paid the said sum of money into Alanamu's Guaranteed Trust Bank account as a reward for the award of contract to his company. Counsel to ICPC had averred that Namleys Nigeria Limited had submitted falsified and doctored documents during the bidding process. The court was also informed of how Alanamu ensured that the contract for the construction and furnishing of an auditorium in Kwara State Polytechnic at the cost of 182 million was awarded to a company belonging to his friend when it was not qualified to execute the contract. Prosecution, having established very strong evidence of collusion, bid rigging, and corrupt practices against the accused, urged the court to mete out appropriate sanctions to them. Having considered the totality of evidence adduced by the prosecution in the course of the trial, and recognizing that it had discharged the burden of proof placed upon it by law beyond reasonable doubt, the trial judge in his ruling found Dr. Alamo guilty and sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment on counts 2 and 3 and 5 years with hard labor on counts 1, 4, and 5 without an optional fine. He was also ordered to pay the sum of 25 million naira pursuant to Section 20 of the ICPC law. Justice Abdul Ghaffar found Suleiman guilty on count 5 and 6 and sentenced him to 5 and 7 years imprisonment respectively. The third defendant, which is the company, has been ordered to pay a fine of 1 million, and all the sentences are to run concurrently. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, has conducted computer-based tests for about 60,000 candidates in 94 centers who applied for various vacant positions in the corporation. Chief Operating Officer, Corporate Services, NNPC, Isa Inowa, said this after visiting some CBT centers along with the NNPC Recruitment Steering Committee in Abuja on Saturday. The corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Ugamadu, quoted Inowa in a statement saying that the 2019 NNPC recruitment exercise was for the corporation to replace some of its retiring workers and to refresh the system with new hands. The NNPC recently placed advertisement to recruit some categories of new workers to buoy its operations nationwide. The ongoing recruitment by the oil firm started via a nationwide advertisement in the national dailies and online media in March 2019, followed by the shortlisting of qualified candidates who took the CBT on June 1. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has given an indication that it will look into complaints of some of the over 60,000 applicants that wrote tests for the ongoing recruitment exercise. Some of the candidates for the computer-based test in Abuja expressed frustration over technical glitches and timing out before the allotted time. A handful of applicants told newsmen at centers in Gwarimpa and Jabi areas of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, that their computers locked them out about 30 minutes before the time allotted lapsed. The group managing director of the state-owned oil company, Dr. Meikanti Baro, in a response, said he had directed a fair assessment of all those with genuine complaints. The GMD promised to direct a fair resolution by grading the candidates based on what they were able to attempt for the time they were allowed to spend. However, thousands of applicants have commended the NNPC for a transparent selection for the CBT. And moving ahead, the wife of the new governor of Zamfara, Hajia Aisha Matawale, says that she plans to prioritize girl child education in the state. She said this during a press briefing at the government house, Gusau, on Saturday. She said that the educated woman had better skills and self-confidence to raise children with sound characters for a better society more than her uneducated counterparts. The governor's wife said women in the state will also be empowered financially to achieve sustainable lifestyles. She appealed to the citizens of the state to continue to support government policies and programs that will be embarked upon by the administration of Governor Bello Matawale for the development of the state. The national president of the National Association of Private Schools, NABS, Dr. Sally Aduku Bolujoko, has called on the federal government to review the nation's education curriculum to meet the standard of the 21st century. He also urged government and relevant stakeholders to address the quantum of social vices presently confronting the lives of Nigerian children. Bolujoko, who stated these in Mina, Niger State, said the current curriculum no longer meets the educational requirements of the Nigerian child. He explained that Nigerian kids are facing unprecedented challenges such as insecurity, violence, deprivation, insurgency, abject poverty, poor access to quality education and healthcare, child trafficking, as well as child abuse. The president of NABS, who spoke through the Niger State Vice President of the Association, Mrs. Debbie Kato, decried the number of out-of-school children in the state. And speaking, the Executive Director of Niger State Private Schools Board, Alhaji Yakubu Garba, commended the efforts of proprietors of NABS in the educational sector in the state. Earlier, the chairman of the Chanchaga chapter of NABS in the state, Mr. Femi Olalade, called on parents to sincerely evaluate relationships with their children and, where they failed, make the necessary correction to ensure they turn out as responsible members of the society. The Permanent Secretary Federal Capital Territory, FCT Chinyaka Oha, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the 19.4 billion Kashi water project site meant to supply water to Kashi satellite town. Oha expressed his satisfaction in Abuja on Sunday during an inspection of the project site, as well as in the equipment at the office of the company handling it. According to him, the project, when completed, will make water scarcity in the FCT satellite town and other new districts a thing of the past. The permanent secretary said the water project would also generate employment and increase economic activities such as farming in the satellite town. He said the inspection visit was to ascertain whether the work done on site was consistent with what was stated in the project variation certificate submitted by the company before the payment will be made. Oha said that the FCT administration had made necessary provisions in the 2019 budget to ensure that the continuation of project is guaranteed. The permanent secretary said that the project was expected to be completed before the end of President Muhammadu Buhari's second term in office. Oha further explained that the contract was being executed in phases, pointing out that what was being inspected was the dam component of the which will cost 1.9 billion naira. And you're watching Clearview TV News, reaching you live from Abuja. We'll take a short break. When we come back, there will be more news. Please stay with us.
Nigerian police force, through the dogged efforts of the Inspector General of Police, IG Mohammed A. Adamu, in a bid to combat the high rate of criminality and criminal elements, kidnappers, domestic offenders, violence, cultism, rape, robbery, amongst so many others, has launched the Police VGS mobile app. The Police VGS mobile app is a web-based dispatch system for quick emergency reporting of incidents by citizens, for the prompt response by the Nigerian police and other emergency and security agencies. Within 5 seconds of reporting, the appropriate government security or emergency agencies will be alerted and help will be deployed immediately. If you find yourself in a situation where your life or the life of another is threatened, such as kidnap, rape, robbery, road accidents, fire incidents, medical emergencies, natural disasters, or any attempt on your life or the life of a fellow Nigerian, all you need to do is to silently swipe the Police VGS app on your mobile phone. Policemen will be alerted immediately and help will be sent your way promptly. This is particularly handy in case of kidnap on the highway, roadside, one chance, or case of robbery or any communal unrest whatsoever. All a victim needs to do is just to swipe the app on a phone, either as a victim or an observer. Policemen will be alerted immediately and help will be deployed for appropriate intervention. Apart from reporting emergencies, the app also has a unique features such as Escort Me. Once this app is activated, the police force and other security agencies will receive the coordinates of the dispatcher of the distress. Either on the highway or within the city, a user can also report incidents, the eyewitness feature on the app. The mobile app is available for all Nigerians on the iOS and the Google Play Store platforms. Android or iOS phone became Police VGS Mobile Reporter. As soon as a subscription to the Police VGS app is made, the Nigerian police will be on hand to attend to incident reporters in a matter of seconds. Swipe to safety. Terms and conditions apply. Always remember, the police is your friend. This message is brought to you courtesy of the Office of the Force PRO.
Welcome back. The Special Task Force STF in charge of security in Plateau and Southern Kaduna has arrested 10 hoodlums in connection with the recent skirmishes in Jos, the Plateau state capital. It will be recalled that there were skirmishes in Jos earlier last week in which 5 people were killed, several others injured, and 12 houses burned. Major General Augustine Agundo, STF commander, made the disclosure in Jos when he paraded some of the suspects. Agundo said that during the operation to restore normalcy, troops arrested Adams Ibrahim, Bello Mohammed, Yusuf Ibrahim, Mansour Suleiman, Saudi Mohammed, Zaradin, and Haruna in their attempt to commit arson. The suspects were arrested in possession of premium motor spirit in 2 swan water bottles, machetes, pickaxes, and cutlasses. They were arrested in their illicit efforts to commence reprisals, a situation which would have engulfed the entire Jos. Also, during the cordon and search operation in suspected hoodlums hideout in Dutse Uku, Abubakar Abdullahi, Mansour Abdullahi, and Agwomazi were apprehended. According to him, the hoodlums on sighting approaching troops started hurling dangerous weapons at them in order to prevent the troops from carrying out their operations. Agundo said that in another circumstance, the troop deployed to Jama al local government area of Kaduna State, acting on a tip-off, apprehended 3 suspected gun runners. He named them to include Philip Yusuf, Jesse Yusuf, and Caleb Yusuf, while an armed robber was also arrested. Preliminary investigation revealed that the suspected gun runners were siblings who had been into fabrication of firearms for unscrupulous elements and criminals in the society since 2016. Items recovered from them include 2 unfinished fabricated revolver guns, 2 welding machines, 1 painting machine, a generator, and a box containing assorted tools used for fabrication of firearms. Machu, on the other hand, was caught with 1 camouflage shirt, 1 police force combat trouser, and 2 web belts and a toy revolver. Investigation revealed that Machu belongs to an armed robbery syndicate that has been operating and terrorizing some villages in southern Kaduna. He further said that 2 suspected drug peddlers, Abubakar Isa and Mokhtar Abubakar, were also arrested at Congo, Russia, and just after a tip-off. Illicit drugs found in their possession, the commander said, were suspected to be tramadol, Exalt 5, and diazepam, and rubber solution. Boko Haram insurgents in the early hours of Saturday stormed a mosque at Sajeri near Nkumari on the outskirts of Maiduguri, killing a worshipper. Witnesses said the insurgents stormed the Sajeri community during the Ramadan Tahajjud prayer by 2 a.m., shooting sporadically before concentrating on the mosque. Sources told newsmen on Sunday that the armed insurgents opened fire on the congregation, causing a stampede with the worshippers and entire residents of the community fleeing in different directions. It was gathered that some persons sustained injuries in the process. And so far, none of the casualties has been taken to any hospital in Maiduguri for treatment, but a few of them are receiving minor treatment at home. Security agencies have not issued any statement on the incident yet. The newly posted Kano State Commissioner of Police Ahmed Ilyasu has declared that there is no hiding place for criminals in the state, as his officers and men are battle ready to flush them out of the ancient commercial city. In his maiden press briefing in his office, the police boss said he is prepared to fight against all forms of violent crimes, drug abuse, kidnapping, banditry, and the menace of street urchins. According to him, the police will not fail the people and government of Kano State in their quest to make Kano safe for living and business transactions. He pledged to use the policy of community policing, traditional rulers, religious leaders, opinion leaders, and other relevant stakeholders to combat crime. He pledged to use Ilyasu charged parents to imbibe the spirit of discipline and attitudinal change on their children, pointing out that there should be social reorientation so as to help the youth abstain from crime and desist from drug abuse. He added that their intention is to see that they protect the lives and property of citizens with respect to the rule of law. He promised to use the needed technological tools, continuous training and retraining of his men, while appealing for the full support of the media, which he described as a very important component of crime fighting. The National Human Rights Commission, the NHRC, has called on Federal Capital Territory Police Command to take steps towards decongesting police cells to avoid further violation of rights of suspects whose detention have been needlessly prolonged. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made the call when he led management team on a working visit to the FCT Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bala Shiroma, in Abuja. Ojukwu observed that NHRC's investigation of cases of rights violation against the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS of the police in FCT revealed that some suspects have been held in custody for a period of 8 months and beyond. The Executive Secretary solicited improved working relationship between the Police Command and Commission and urged the police boss to appoint an Assistant Commissioner of Police to coordinate the Human Rights Desk offices across all police divisions in the FCT, pointing out that such initiative has in the past been of immense benefit to both the organization and their related mandates of protecting the rights of citizens. He stated that quick response from the Police Commission's request for reports on complaints of rights violation will assist the Commission to timely forward its annual reports on human rights to the National Assembly, as well as comply with the NHRC's standing order and rules of procedure, which requires that complaints of human rights violation are resolved within 3 months. In his response, the FCT CP Bala Shiroma said he was highly elated with the visit of the Executive Secretary and his management team, adding that his command will continue to cooperate with the Commission to ensure that the rights of citizens in FCT are adequately protected. Now, ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Plateau State Police Command says it has deployed 2,181 personnel across the state to ensure a hitch-free celebration. The Police Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Tena Tayo Pev, who disclosed this on Saturday in Jos, said the deployment of the personnel was to ensure crime detection and prevention during the period. The PPR said the command had placed a ban on the sale and use of fireworks, knockouts, bangers, and other explosives during the period. Tayo Pev also announced that the command had banned the operation of commercial tricycles within Jos and Bukuru Metropolis during the period, adding that violators will be made to face the weight of the law. He said plans had been concluded to divert traffic during the break to ensure free movement, and therefore called on motorists to park their vehicles 100 meters away from Eid grounds. The Sango Ota Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC in Ogun has advised motorists to exercise patience in trying to get to their destinations during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Akim Gainya, the Sango Ota unit commander, gave the advice in an interview in Ota, Ogun State on Sunday. The federal government had declared Tuesday and Wednesday as public holidays for Muslim faithful to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. Ganya said the advice became necessary because of the increase of vehicular movement during the celebration, capable of leading to unnecessary road accidents. He advised motorists to refrain from reckless driving during the Salah, as the nation was in the rainy season. The unit commander further implored motorists to plan their journey by ensuring their vehicles were in proper condition before embarking on any trip. The Palace Priest Assembly this Sunday held their third anniversary service to thank God for bringing the church thus far. Clearview TV's religious correspondent Chinedu Mbatuegu captured the event and our report.
It was a moment of praise and worship as members of Palace of Priests Assembly this Sunday celebrated their third anniversary. The celebration was observed in a grand style. In an interview with Clearview TV, the senior pastor Otive Igbuzo and his wife expressed satisfaction seeing the church celebrate their third anniversary.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the third anniversary of the establishment of this church. This is a new ministry, just 3 years old. But like somebody mentioned, it is like 30 years. Because God has been faithful to us. That's why the theme of our celebration is great things He has done. Since the beginning of this church, we've seen salvation of souls. We've seen great testimonies of healing. People have been healed of stroke. Somebody was healed from drug abuse of tramadol just by participating in communal service. There has been financial breakthroughs. There has been several healings, So we have just come here to thank God and to celebrate because He has done great things for us.
The church has grown beyond our expectation. You know that any project you start comes with challenges, comes with difficulties. But God has made it easy for us. It's not as if we have not faced any challenge, but there is no challenge we have faced that God has not helped us to surmount. And so since we started, we have every reason to thank the Lord because the church has grown numerically. The church has also grown even in spiritual capacity of its members.
For the church, it was such a delight to look back and see how far God has taken the church in the last 3 years. Chinedu Mbatuegu, reporting for Clearview Television.
An Life Christian Center this Sunday dedicated their new church headquarters. The newly built headquarters is situated at Mpape in the heart of the Federal Capital Territory. Our religious affairs correspondent Chinedu Mbatuegu captured the event and our reports.
Newly built headquarters was this Sunday dedicated. The church, also known as the Oasis, was declared open by the senior pastor Sam Bode Lawal. During the event, pastors were ordained. In an exclusive interview, the senior pastor thanked God for the completion of Land Church.
I feel good, so grateful to God for making the dream a reality, because I know that God can still do much more than this. At least for where we are today, I'm very grateful to God. At least we have a place like this that we can call our own permanent building. So I feel so excited.
Following the new administration of President Buhari, the clergy charged newly elected political officers to serve in the fear of the Lord.
Well, for Christians that are in politics or that will be holding one or two political posts or the other, I just want to advise them to be Christian indeed. Even in the government, they should be Christian indeed. They should not lose their identity. They should serve in the fear of the Lord. Okay? Not for personal gain. They should serve in the fear of the Lord and then do that which is pleasing to God. That at the end of the day, they can receive a well done even from God. Okay? And then of course they should make sure that whatever capacity they have, they are mindful of the people that they are serving. Mindful of the people that they are serving, make life better for people. all right, in the little ways they can. They don't have to be the president to effect a change in their own little corner. All right, there are quite a number of things they can do, and as Christians, they should do that. All right, so that people will be happy with them, and of course, God, all right, will be happy.
Hope Alive believes the Church of God is marching on and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Chinedu Mbatwegu reporting for Clearview Television.
And up next is entertainment news with entertainment correspondent Cecilia Okoli. We'll bring you entertainment news in the course of the bulletin. Well, up next is time for a break. Please stay with us.
Sala from the Federal Road Safety Commission.
The Federal Road Safety Corps appreciates the continuous support being received from the motoring public. Road traffic crashes are trending down and concerted effort is being made by the government to improve on road safety management. As celebration approaches, it is expected that road users will undertake trips to visit families and loved ones. The Corps encourages you to conduct vehicle safety checks before embarking on your trip. Avoid night journeys. Use your seat belts. Avoid overloading and driving above prescribed speed limits. Comply with road traffic laws and regulations. Prevention is always the best approach to avoid road traffic crashes and injuries. I implore you all to please partner with FRSC to reduce road traffic crashes on our highways. Drive to save a life. I wish you all happy celebrations.
Watching Clearview TV. Don't touch that, Mr. Real. Mr. Legbegbe said that. Oh, Lord, God bless you.
My name is Olariwaju Torusheju, popularly known as Ambassador Wahala. You are watching Clearview TV. Don't touch the dial. If you touch the dial, all you need to do is to increase the volume. If you change 75% of your life, now you don't change. So.
Hi there, my name is Feza from Tanzania, and keep watching Clearview TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs, aka Chacha King, aka Baba for the Girls, aka. Thank you. You're watching Clearview. Don't go nowhere. Stay in this place because it's very clear and the view is bright. Thank you. I love you.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Skibby Mayana, the Oracle nobody can tackle, and you're watching Clearview TV. Oh, clear, oh, clean. Skibby says so. Let's go.
My name is Simi, and you're watching Clearview TV.
Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Israel has carried out airstrikes in Syria in response to a rare rocket fire from the neighboring country. A war monitor reported that 10 people were killed, including Syrian soldiers and foreign fighters. Israel's army said 2 rockets were fired from Syria at Mount Hermon in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights late on Saturday, and 1 was located within the Israel territory. In response, the army attacked 2 Syrian artillery batteries, a number of observations and intelligence posts on the Golan Heights, and an SA-2 defense battery. The Israeli attack left 3 Syrian soldiers and 7 foreign fighters dead, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said. According to the UK-based monitor, they died in missile strikes close to the capital Damascus, where Syrian troops, Iranian forces and Hezbollah fighters are stationed. The observatory did not specify the nationality of the foreign fighters killed. Syria's official news agency, SANA, quoted a military source as saying anti-aircraft defenses fired against enemy missiles from Israel targeting positions in southwest Damascus. The Israeli army said its own aerial defense systems were activated due to the Syrian anti-aircraft fire, but none of the Syrian fire hit Israel. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had ordered the strike, adding that Israel won't tolerate fire at its territory and will respond forcefully to any aggression against them. Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes in Syria, most of them against what it says are Iranian and Hezbollah targets. Israel says it is determined to prevent its act for Iran from entrenching itself militarily in Syria, where Tehran backs President Bashar al-Assad in the country's 8-year war, which has killed more than 370,000 people. Israel insists it has the right to continue to target positions in Syria held by Iran and its Lebanese ally Hezbollah out of self-defense. The latest reported strike comes at a time of rising tensions between Iran and the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump waded once again on Sunday into Britain's Brexit debate on the eve of his state visit to London, urging Theresa May's successor to leave the EU with no deal. Trump asked whoever takes over as Britain's next Prime Minister not to be afraid to walk away from negotiations with Brussels and should refuse to pay the agreed divorce bill. The intervention comes after Trump used another newspaper interview to declare that the former Foreign Minister Boris Johnson will be an excellent replacement for May. Britain is rolling out the red carpet for the presidential visit this week, starting with a private lunch with Queen Elizabeth II and a state banquet at Buckingham Palace on Monday. But large protests are also planned over what London Mayor Sadiq Khan described as Trump's divisive behavior, while opposition politicians are boycotting the banquet. Trump embarrassed May with outspoken remarks on Brexit during his visit to Britain last year. On Sunday, he again urged the next government to follow his own negotiating rule book. May has already agreed to pay £39 billion to cover Britain's liabilities as it moves to sever 4 decades of EU membership. May agreed a divorce agreement with Brussels last November, but British MPs have rejected it 3 times, and she has had to delay Brexit twice. She has now been forced out, and her Conservative Party is beginning the process of finding a new leader, with 13 candidates already declared. Johnson, one of the frontrunners, is among several to say Britain should leave the EU on October 21 with or without a deal. They are under pressure from the Brexit Party, the latest political vehicle of anti-EU populist leader Nigel Farage, which came top in European parliamentary elections last month. 3 explosions struck the Afghan capital, including a magnetic bomb attached to a bus carrying university students that killed at least 1 person. The bus explosion wounded 10 people. 2 roadside bombs were detonated about 20 minutes later, wounding 7 more people, including 5 security forces, in the same residential area of western Kabul. In total, 1 Afghan civilian was murdered and 17 others, including a local journalist and 5 Afghan forces, slightly wounded. Several houses and shops around the blast sites were damaged. Security forces blocked all roads leading to the areas. Wahidullah Maya, a spokesman for the Public Health Ministry, said at least 4 women were wounded in the bus bombing and had been taken to hospitals. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the Kabul attacks, but both the Taliban and the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant launched regular assaults in the capital. With 2 more men convicted on Sunday for joining ISIS, there are now 9 French nationals on death row. Fodil Taha, Audiet and Vina Oge were among 11 French citizens and 1 Tunisian handed over to Iraqi authorities in January by a US-backed force fighting the jihadist group in Syria. Described as violent and ready to die for the extremist ISIS ideology, Audiet first appeared in court on May 27, but a judge delayed his trial and ordered a medical examination after the 32-year-old claimed he was tortured into confessing. The medical report shows that there are no signs of torture on his body, the judge told the court before handing down his sentence. His trial was quickly followed by that of 28-year-old Oragi, who acknowledged in court that he worked with ISIS but said he did not participate in any fighting. Baghdad has handed capital punishment to 7 of other French jihadists and a Tunisian over the past week. Hearings for the last 2 suspected French ISIS members to be tried in Baghdad are set for Monday. Iraq has sentenced more than 500 suspected foreign members of ISIS since the start of 2018. Its courts have condemned many to life in prison and others to death, although no foreign ISIS members have yet been executed. Those convicted have 30 days to appeal. Oragi, who has Algerian roots, left France for Syria in 2013 and joined the Al-Qaeda affiliate there before jumping into ISIS when the latter declared its caliphate in 2014. Aridit showed no reaction when the judge handed down his death sentence. He first went to Syria in 2013 and returned in 2014 with 22 members of his family to join ISIS, according to the French judiciary. Authorities also linked him to Belgium's Salafist movement, including Abdelhamid Abadou, the suspected mastermind of the 2015 Paris attacks. France has long insisted its adult citizens captured in Iraq or Syria must face local courts, while stressing its opposition to capital punishment. French government spokesman Sibeth Ndiaye reiterated on Sunday that officials were intervening at the highest level in the cases. Iraqi law provides for the death penalty for anyone joining a terrorist group, even those who did not take up arms. And you're still watching Clearview TV News. Another short break, and when we come back, it's going to be time for sports. Please stay with us.
Prompt response by the Nigerian police and other emergency and security agencies. Within 5 seconds of reporting, the appropriate government security or emergency agencies will be alerted and help will be deployed immediately. If you find yourself in a situation where your life or the life of another is threatened, such as kidnap, rape, robbery, road accidents, fire incidents, medical emergencies, natural disasters, or any attempt on your life or the life of a fellow Nigerian, all you need to do is to silently swipe the Police VGS app on your mobile phone. Policemen will be alerted immediately and help will be sent your way promptly. This is particularly handy in case of kidnap on the highway, roadside, one chance, or case of robbery or any communal unrest whatsoever. All a victim needs to do is just to swipe the app on a phone, either as a victim or an observer. Policemen will be alerted immediately and help will be deployed for appropriate intervention. Apart from reporting emergencies, the app also has a unique features such as Escort Me. Once this app is activated, the police force and other security agencies will receive the coordinates of the dispatcher of the distress. Either on the highway or within the city, a user can also report incidents, the eyewitness feature on the app. The mobile app is available for all Nigerians on the iOS and the Google Play Store platforms. Android or iOS phone became Police VGS Mobile Reporter. As soon as a subscription to the Police VGS app is made, the Nigerian police will be on hand to attend to incident reporters in a matter of seconds. Swipe to safety. Terms and conditions apply. Always remember, the police is your friend. This message is brought to you courtesy of the Office of the Force PRO.
Barakat Salah from the Federal Road Safety Commission.
The Federal Road Safety Corps appreciates the continuous support being received from the motoring public. Road traffic crashes are trending down and concerted effort is being made by the government to improve on road safety management. As celebration approaches, it is expected that road users will undertake trips to visit families and loved ones. The Corps encourages you to conduct vehicle safety checks before embarking on your trip. Avoid night journeys, use your seat belts, avoid overloading and driving above prescribed speed limits, comply with road traffic laws and regulations. Prevention is always the best approach to avoid road traffic crashes and injuries. I implore you all to please partner with FRSC to reduce road traffic crashes on our highways. Drive to save a life. I wish you all happy celebration.
Watching Clearview TV. Don't touch that, Mr. Real. Mr. Legbegbelo said that. Allah, God bless you.
My name is Olariwaju Torusheju, popularly known as Ambassador Wahala. You are watching Clearview TV. Don't touch the dial. If you touch the dial, all you need to do is to increase the volume. If you change up 75% of your life, now you don't change. So
Hi there, my name is Feza from Tanzania, and keep watching Clearview TV. Mwah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs, aka Chacha King, aka Baba for the Girls, aka. Thank you. You're watching Clearview. Don't go nowhere. Stay in this place because it's very clear and the view is bright. Thank you. I love you.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Skibby Mayana, the Oracle nobody can tackle, and you're watching Clearview TV. Oh, clear, oh, clean.
Skibby says so. Let's go.
My name is Simi and you're watching Clearview TV.
Juggernaut scores his first goal for a professional side.
And in sports, Andy Ruiz Jr. produced one of the biggest shocks in the history of heavyweight boxing to rip Anthony Joshua's IBF, WBO and WBA World Heavyweight titles from him and tear up the division's proposed plot lines. In a truly remarkable fight at New York's Madison Square Garden, Ruiz floored Joshua 4 times en route to a 7th round stoppage, which stunned his famous arena and handed the Britons his first defeat as a professional. Joshua was a 1-25 favorite with bookmakers, with 22 wins, 21 by knockouts going into the fight. He will now join the likes of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson as dominant champions to suffer losses which brought the sport to a standstill. I got beaten by a good fighter, said 29-year-old Joshua. It will be interesting to see how far he goes, but this is all part of the journey. He's a champion for now. I shall return, Joshua said. This was no fluke, no punch from the edges. It was the breakdown of a fighter who looked shattered from an early stage. After flooring Ruiz with a left hook in the 3rd round, Joshua hit the canvas when a right crashed against his temple. By the time a sensational 3 minutes was up, he had been down again thanks to a flurry when cornered. It created an electric buzz among the almost 19,000 in the arena. Ruiz, 29, was not even supposed to be here. He took the bout at 6 weeks' notice, and tickets were being collected by fans 24 hours before the bout, which still had the name of Jarrell Miller, Joshua's original opponent, printed on them. By the 7th round, when Joshua touched down under a flurry of shots again, the game looked up. Seconds later, he was down on all fours again and spat his gumshoe out, perhaps to buy time. The bout was waved off and all that was planned for the glamour division was ripped up thanks to a man who had been dubbed unglamorous because of his rounded physique. Ruiz, from appearance to pedigree, was an underdog in every sense of the word. Britons woke up on Sunday morning to read of a truly iconic upset. And Anthony Joshua has attracted scorn from rival Deontay Wilder after a shocking knockout loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. at Madison Square Garden in New York. Ruiz Jr. was a late replacement following Jarrell Miller's failed drug test. However, the US-born Mexican boxer spoiled the long-awaited US debut of the unified boxing champion Joshua by knocking him down 4 times before being declared winner via technical knockout in the 7th round. Ruiz Jr. 33-1, 22 knockouts, therefore claimed the Joshua's IBF, WBA and World Boxing Organization heavyweight belts. Reacting, Wilder mocked Joshua, saying that the previously undefeated British boxer was not a true champion. And taking to his Twitter handle after the fight, Wilder said he wasn't a true champion, adding that his whole career was consisted of lies, contradictions and gift. Like he said, now we know who was running from who. And Liverpool erased the disappointment of last season's UEFA Champions League final loss by claiming the trophy for the 6th time with victory over Tottenham in Madrid. It was Mohamed Salah, such a disconsolate figure when he was injured early in that loss to Real Madrid, who set Liverpool on their way with a penalty after 2 minutes when Musa Sissoko was contentiously punished for handball. In a final that rarely touched the heights of the blockbuster semi-finals that made this an all-Premier League showpiece, Spurs had chances but were denied by Liverpool keeper Alisson, who saved well from Son Heung-min, Lucas Moura and Christian Eriksen. and their failure to capitalize was ruthlessly punished when substitute Divock Origi ensured manager Jurgen Klopp won his first trophy as Liverpool manager by driving low and powerfully past Hugo Lloris with 3 minutes left. Spurs counterpart Mauricio Pochettino took the gamble of selecting England captain and main striker Harry Kane, despite his not having played since April because of an ankle injury, replacing semi-final hat-trick hero Lucas Moura, but he had no impact. Liverpool lifted the trophy that was taken from their grasp in Ukraine last season and now stand behind only Real Madrid and AC Milan as serial winners of the tournament. The final whistle sparking huge celebrations among players, management, and the red wave of supporters in Madrid's Wanda Metropolitano Stadium. And Brazilian football star Neymar has denied an accusation that he raped a woman in Paris, according to a police report filed in Sao Paulo. The woman alleges that the attack took place in a hotel in French capital where Neymar plays for Paris Saint-Germain. Neymar sought to prove his innocence by posting what he says is an exchange of WhatsApp messages between the pair. He is now in Brazil training with the national team for the Copa America. According to police documents, the woman, who has not been named, got to know Neymar on Instagram and he suggested they meet in Paris. He provided her with an air ticket from Brazil to France and a reservation at a luxury hotel in Paris. When Neymar came to the hotel on 15th May, he was apparently drunk, the woman alleges. After conversation and embrace, at some point Neymar became aggressive and through violence engaged in sexual intercourse against the will of the victim, the police document stated. The woman returned to Brazil 2 days later without reporting the alleged incidents to the French police because she was emotionally shaken and afraid to register the facts in another country, the document continued. In a statement released after the accusations became public, the footballer's management condemned the unjust accusations and above all the exposure in the press of an extremely negative situation. The statement said Neymar had been the victim of an attempted extortion and evidence of attempted extortion and non-rape will be submitted to the police authorities. Neymar directly addressed the allegations in a 7-minute video on his Instagram page. The unmarried footballer posted the video alongside the caption, "Due to extortion, I'm being forced to expose my life and my family." Speaking in Portuguese, the footballer said, "I'm very upset, but from now on I'll expose or tell all about what happened with that girl. It was an intimate thing, but I have to open myself up to prove that nothing exceptional happened." During the video, the 27-year-old shows what he claims to be a long series of WhatsApp messages with a woman, including photographs of her in her underwear. He says he had to make them public to prove that nothing really happened. And former Arsenal winger Jose Antonio Reyes has died in a car accident aged 35. Spanish club Sevilla have announced. "We couldn't be confirming worse news," the La Liga club said on Twitter. The Spaniard joined the Gunners from Sevilla in January 2004 and was part of the invincible side that went through the 2003-2004 season unbeaten, winning the Premier League. He later spent a season on loan at Real Madrid in 2006-2007, winning the title. Sevilla paid tribute to the eternal legend along that he was one of the valuable homegrown players in history of the club. Flags in Reyes' hometown of Utrera will fly at half-mast for the next 2 days, according to a statement on the City Council website. The statement also revealed the accident happened on a road linking Utrera with Seville, and a relative of Reyes was also killed. Reyes' coffin will be taken to Sevilla Stadium on Sunday before being moved to Utrera ahead of his funeral on Monday. Reyes leaves behind his wife Noelia Lopez, whom he married in 2017, and 3 children, daughters Noela and Trina, and son Jose Antonio Jr. from a previous relationship. A minute silence was observed at Saturday's Champions League final as a mark of respect to Reyes, who was the first Spaniard to win the Premier League. And just before we go, let's take a look at the stories that made headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after attending the summit of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. The Special Task Force (STF) in charge of security in Plateau and Southern Kaduna has arrested 10 hoodlums in connection with the recent skirmishes in Jos. And we also reported that Israel has carried out airstrikes in Syria in response to rare rocket fire from a neighboring country. And that's the news. Thanks very much for watching. But just before we go, let us remind you that you can remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview TV. Like us on Facebook via Clearview Television online. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online, Instagram at Clearview TV _NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on Natchcomsat with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Nten Ekpang. Many thanks for watching.